Okay, we'll go ahead and for the benefit of the listening audience, we'll call the roll to establish a quorum. First up, of course, Mayor Owens.
Here.
Yes, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Selby.
Here.
Commissioner Mann.
Here.
Commissioner Borland.
Here.
Commissioner Burke.
Here.
Commissioner Collins. Let the record reflect that Commissioner Collins had indicated he had an emergency appointment and may not be able to make it at the beginning of the meeting, so we'll go ahead and note that. And last but not least, certainly not least, Commissioner Walker.
Here.
All right, Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum, quorum present.
All right, go ahead and take off, Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir. Okay, and Mr. Mayor, given that you've called the meeting to order, we'll go on to the agenda item. This is number 2. It's called Presentations and Reports. This is for information. The first item on this section is an Employee Service Award. And I would like to go ahead and read to the community the following. I am pleased to recognize one of our colleagues tonight as we celebrate 10 years of service by Janique Lee. Janique worked in the automotive field prior to entering public service here at the town of Manteo. He started off in public works and he transferred later to the water and sewer department. Janique is committed to professional development and he currently holds operator licenses at the following levels: B distribution for drinking water, collections 1 for sewer, and cross connection control for drinking water. Outside of normal work orders, Janique handles the majority of our 811 locate tickets. In fact, he's also been our primary lift station inspector for the last 4 years. I will now read from the plaque being given on behalf of the Mayor and Board of Commissioners. Presented to Janique Lee in deep appreciation and heartfelt thanks for 10 years of dedicated and loyal service to the town of Manteo. Thank you, Janique, for your service to our community. Congratulations.
Sincere congratulations. And any other commissioners like to comment?
Congratulations, Johnny.
All right, go ahead, James B.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number B on the agenda, 2B. This is presentation on First Friday and special events, Dare County Arts Council. For this presentation, we welcome our special guest. This is Chris Sowen. He's the Executive Director of the Dare County Arts Council and certainly a friend of Manteo. He's here to have this presentation and we will welcome him to the podium.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you today. I'm here to talk about the partnership between the town of Manteo and Dare County Arts Council for the purpose of promoting Manteo, both as a wonderful place to live, but also as a great destination for vacation visitors. And specifically, the purpose of my visit is to request the authorization for using funds that have been approved in the budget, this year's Town of Manteo fiscal budget for First Friday, for a sister program that we have initiated in the wake of the coronavirus, as a response to the coronavirus. If you wouldn't mind, can you scroll up to slide 1? Is it possible? Okay, so everybody knows what First Friday is. We've had the good fortune of collaborating with the town of Manteo on this event for years. It was in existence long before I started working at the Arts Council, so maybe it's decades. But I do know that it's been something that has been a really positive collaboration for both the town and the Arts Council. When COVID hit and the lockdown happened, our staff spent about 10 minutes worrying about what we couldn't do and immediately started thinking about what we could do. Our purpose is to support the arts and artists help them with commercial opportunities. And First Friday is a wonderful avenue for that for performing musicians. What we ended up doing is reaching out to some of our most loyal supporters, notably the Outer Banks Community Foundation, who provided grant funding in the Bryan Cultural Series, who also provided grant funding, and then some of our sponsors, such as Town Bank, to create a number of digital platforms that would allow musicians, artists of all stripes to continue to make money during a really uncertain and challenging time for everyone. As you can imagine, these folks find themselves at the beginning, at the dead center of the gig economy. And there was a day in March when every gig on the Outer Banks for musicians was canceled. So we took these funds, we bought digital equipment, and we created a series of programs, some for artists, some for teachers, but the most notable of which is called the Courthouse Sessions. And the Courthouse Sessions is, in essence, First Friday done digitally. The idea was to not take any funds from this particular program, but we would every week showcase live stream performances by local Outer Banks artists, starting with Manteo musical artist Bill Ray and his family back in April, and help them make money through a virtual tip jar. The artists have done extremely well. I can tell you that in a lot of cases they've made more money on this than they would if they'd performed live. It was a real shot in the arm to a lot of artists who found themselves in very difficult position. I'll give you one great example. The musician Johnny Waters performed on the Courthouse Sessions towards the end of the spring. He was able to raise over $1,500 to start a new charitable foundation in the name of his brother-in-law who had just passed away from cancer. He actually did his performance live remotely from his father's house, and that was just one of the many success stories that we had. This is sort of a silver lining story. If you would mind going to slide 2, what we found was that the world noticed what we were doing. You can see someone tuning in from New Zealand. You can see Tashambe Selby performing, and underneath it is somebody who lives way far away, having dinner with her spouse, listening to Tashambe. We got comments, we got tune-ins from all over the world, and we continue to do so. You can see some of the performers that have been performing with us. It's been absolutely astounding. The first one we did got over 500 live comments on Facebook Live where we broadcast it. So this has become a really successful program. What our plan is to segue as soon as we can from this online only setting into a hybrid, when we can do First Friday, when we can bring people to the courthouse, when we can fill Queen Elizabeth Avenue with people. At that point, we'll do both. We will have a First Friday, but we'll also have this digital experience for people to see how awesome Manteo is. And it is not hyperbole to say that there's no time in the history of our region that more people in the world are interested in Outer Banks culture. You've got Wicked Tuna, you've got that TV show on Netflix, Outer Banks. The Outer Banks Visitors Bureau and all the municipalities have done a wonderful job building up our shoulder seasons. This area is extremely popular throughout the United States and beyond. And when I say we, I mean us collectively, Manteo, the courthouse, what we're doing to support culture in our area is really at the forefront. And this just blew us away. So what I'd like to propose is, because we do have an approved First Friday budget, but we have not been able to have live musical performances for the balance of this fiscal year. I'd like for whatever body would approve this to allow us to tap into the First Friday funds for the courthouse sessions to pay musicians until such time as we're able to reignite First Friday and start that over again. By and large, we will be able to help a lot more musicians in this way in a really tough time. And again, our goal is to get back online with First Friday because it's so cool. And I think when we have this digital component, it's going to be even better. So if you would mind going to the last slide, I tried to keep it simple. I have 3 slides. You can see in the upper left-hand corner, one of our advertising pieces from the summer. And you can see it's the Courthouse Sessions and Outer Banks Performance Series. What I'd like to do is, with your permission, if we're able to utilize First Friday funds in order to continue this amazing program, I want to change the tagline to live from downtown Manteo, North Carolina. Have sponsored by the town of Manteo is the largest logo. We have had tremendous other supporters. You can see them at the bottom stripe there. They'll continue to be on board. But in order to continue, some of our seed money has been spent. And we're hoping that the town of Manteo will allow us to keep this great program going by using funds that have already been approved in a different format. So that's all I got. Thank you for listening.
Chris, James?
Mayor?
Can Chris hear me?
I can.
Okay, Chris,
Yes.
excellent job. This is Bobby Owens.
Thank you.
You got a big supporter here, and I hope we can do it. I think you got a terrific idea. I'd like to get some comments from the board.
Yes, this is Richie. What can we do, James, to go ahead and expedite this issue, if anything?
Yes, thank you. That's Commissioner Burke for the record. Commissioner Burke, right now this is budgeted for $6,000. It's under our Cultural Affairs department here in the appropriated budget. So what we could do is I could bring it back to you next meeting if you'd like and set it up, do a staff report, and we could widen that allocation to not be limited to First Friday, and I'll come up with the appropriate language to allow you, should you choose to consider that at your next meeting and have an actual vote on to decide.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah. Yeah, this is Betty. Is it just local artists?
We did one of our courthouse sessions with a group from Greensboro as sort of a test, and it worked out pretty well. And we're going to do one in November for our veterans program with an artist that's from Williamston that we've worked with before, and they have a connection to our veterans program. We did one show to support our songwriter series for veterans in July, and we had 20 different songwriters from throughout North Carolina. But that is 3 performances out of about 25. So for flavor, just like we do for First Friday, every once in a while we'll pepper it with an artist who's from our region, but maybe not necessarily from our county. But by and large, for us, First Friday is a showcase for local talent, not necessarily to bring in big name artists from other places.
And they will get the same rate as if they were live?
Well, that's our intent. I mean, I have no, in fact, I must say, I think that they'll get paid more because they'll still have that digital tip jar. And that has, like I said, in one case, it yielded over $1,500 for an hour-long performance. Wow. So we would pay, sort of the standard rate, which on the Outer Banks for most clubs that book music is someplace between $100 and $200 per musician per performance. So that's what the guide we would use for utilizing the town of Manteo First Friday funds. But in addition to that, they'll get tips, and they could do a heck of a lot better than that.
All right. Anyone else?
Yes, this is Christine Walker. Chris, I just want to say I miss First Fridays as traditionally, my girlfriends and I, we always big supporters of that. And I just want to commend you for, keeping it going. And, of course, whatever we can do at the next meeting to support First Fridays and the musicians, I am all in favor of.
Thank you.
There you go. Anyone else?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Borland. I just wanted to, commend you. You've done a great job in adapting, like a lot of folks have had to. And I tuned into a couple of these, and I thought they were great. And I think it's people could take something from your book here on, as we come out of things, what can we learn, and doing that hybrid, like you said, hopefully these artists can make even more than they did in either format by doing a little bit of both. So I think it's great, and look forward to being supportive here.
Thank you.
Eddie?
I think you're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
All right, James?
Yes, sir.
James?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chris. James, you gonna bring this up at the next meeting?
Yes, sir. It'll be on your November 4th agenda, and I'll do the staff report for the board's consideration.
Yeah, let me suggest this, and I don't know how the board feels. You might look at it, if this is trying circumstances, a different situation, and by them going this way, we might consider a little more money if we could afford it. I mean, a little money, but if we could afford it. So I don't know how the board feels, but we ought to really back this tremendously. I'm like Christine, it's a good service and should be well rewarded. Go ahead. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it seems like there might have been a little interference on the line, but your message is well received, and I'll identify those particular sources.
Yeah, well, just talk to all the board members and maybe feel them out, see how they feel see what I'm talking about. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 2C on the agenda, this is department head reports. In this case, in the current COVID world, we've been scaling back our department head reports from the time where we had all the department heads in, all 9 of them, or slideshows and video. Right now in the agenda package, it's both available to the board and available to the public on our website at manteonc.gov. Every single department has submitted a written report. Now, in the coming months, as we get a chance to open up more, you'll start seeing some more videos to get us back into that. And we also are anticipating a video coming out for a special thing coming out of Manteo Police Department at your November meeting, mid-month recess workshop. But department head reports in the agenda package at manteonc.gov.
All right. Any comments from any commissioners? All right, go ahead with D.
Item number 2D on the agenda. This is update on town-sponsored events. In preparing my remarks today, I ran across a quote by the artist and writer Agnes Farrow. She said, "What is Christmas? It is tenderness for the past, courage for the present, hope for the future." Now, I have fond memories of last year's holiday events, from kids to choirs and community coming together joyfully. I know we must have courage now as we endure a pandemic that has seized the present day. And I am hopeful for 2021 that it will bring a time when we can have the events and activities that help bring our community together. So what about 2020? Well, the governor today announced 3 more weeks in the current phase of restrictions and worrisome trends in the COVID numbers. I've received information from state and county authorities, including a discussion with our highly respected county health director. And it is clear that we will not be able to hold events that gather crowds or even large groups. We have received communications from other towns and cities around the state, and Christmas parades and related activities are being canceled due to COVID-19, a public health emergency, and state-level restrictions. Therefore, it is with deep sadness that I must recommend the cancellation of the Christmas parade, the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, and the New Year's Eve celebration. However, we have been working diligently with key stakeholders to come up with activities intended to promote holiday spirit here in Manteo. Based on your feedback, we will bring you the full slate of events at your next meeting 2 weeks from today. We want to get into the spirit of the holidays by giving to others. Therefore, we would like to coordinate a food drive that will benefit all 3 food pantries here in town, and the Manteo Police Department and town staff will help lead the charge. Also, we have been working already with volunteers and groups such as the Roanoke Island Garden Club to enhance the decorations and lights around town. Hand in hand with this effort, the annual wreath contest is ready for expansion as well. In fact, we could promote the organizations participating in the wreath decorating contest via the website, social media, and even in the local newspaper. We will find a way to light the town Christmas tree, including a video, and we will make sure that people have a chance to visit the lit tree and take any photos to keep up their holiday tradition. Likewise, we would like to work with residents so they can share via video their own Christmas tree lighting or other holiday traditions, such as the lighting of the menorah. On a related note, we will have a decorating contest for residents throughout town, but we don't want to turn it into a National Lampoon Christmas Vacation scenario. Instead, we will receive photos from participants, and then we will draw 3 winners at random to win prizes. A house with 1 light will have, or wreath, will have just as much chance to win as a house with 100 lights. The same approach holds true for our local businesses. We would like to sponsor a merchant window decorating contest, which would draw people to our local businesses. These places will send their photos to the town, and they will be entered for a chance to win a prize. For those residents or businesses who can't participate in the decorating contests, we would like to offer them a chance at a contest. For example, we could have a category for holiday performances, which could range to from a short video of the family singing a carol around a piano to a solo dance recital. Folks can enter their videos for a chance to win. In each of these contest examples, we would do a random drawing for 3 $100 gift certificates. I wanted to make sure there was no objection to the gift certificates, and we would certainly remind prize winners that they should consider shopping local. Separate from the various contests, we would like to offer a new thing for the kids, Santa's mailbox. The decorated mailbox will be located at the town Christmas tree, where kids drop their letters to Santa in the mailbox, and Santa can be filmed randomly picking letters from the mailbox, which will be posted on social media leading up to Christmas. Last but not least, I am pleased to announce that Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa himself called me to make sure we will have a sleigh ready for him to ride through the neighborhoods of Manteo and greet the children. With ideas like these and more, we hope to promote real holiday spirit throughout the community and beyond. Mr. Mayor, those conclude my remarks on...
Oh, that's excellent, James, excellent. It's such sad news that this is just a premier event that we cannot have, and it's sad. But I think your excellent suggestions would work. Comments from the board.
This is Commissioner Walker.
Go ahead.
Christine.
You're in the same,
Sorry, this is Christine. I just want to say, again, as the mayor said, it all sounds, there's a great idea that y'all have come up with. I'm really impressed. I think I know we can't have the large crowd gatherings, but, there's other ways to show our spirit and, bring people to town safely. So just welcome more, hearing more about it, and, whatever we can do to help those events.
All right. Anyone else?
just agreeing with both of you guys. I mean, it's tough pill to swallow, but it's where we're at. And I think, James, you've done a great job. I mean, we got to do something is what we said, and we haven't been able to quite articulate it. So obviously you've done a lot of work and figuring out how we can do a lot of great things that we are able to do. So it'll make the holiday season still be like it's supposed to be here in Manteo.
Anyone else?
You know. Said something.
All right, James.
Yes, sir.
James,
Yes,
it's
sir.
up to you to put on a good Christmas show. with plenty of lights and plenty of merriment, and we just not be there. Excellent job, James. Excellent job, really.
Thank you, sir. And if I may, I want to make sure to recognize these ideas are the culmination of staff, stakeholders, former participants, subcommittee members. This was a real group effort, and I'm grateful for all the team's contributions.
Yeah, we got a good team. I'm proud of them. Everybody is, I'm sure. All right, let's go on with public. Any other things on the sponsored event?
No, sir.
Let's go on to public comment, James.
Yes, sir. So item number 3 on the agenda, public comment is for information. Members of the public are invited to address the Board of Commissioners on any topic. Public comment is not intended to require the board to answer any impromptu questions or to take any action on items brought up during the public comment period. Speakers will address all the comments to the board as a whole and not one individual commissioner. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. Time limits are 3 minutes per person or 5 minutes per group. Please identify yourself and location so that your statements can be recorded. First, Mr. Mayor, we do have a few folks in the audience here at Town Hall. We'll give them an opportunity to come to the podium should they choose to do so.
Okay. James, go ahead and lead it off.
Yes, sir. And seeing none, we'll turn to our virtual participants, and I'm going to look up at the board. And for the attendees who are coming in via remote online, if you hit *9 on your phone, you will raise your hand virtually, and we'll recognize the last 4 digits of your phone number so that you can recognize and speak. We currently have 3 attendees on the in the online section here. If any of you would like to speak, please hit *9 and raise your hand. All right, Mr. Mayor, I don't see anybody raising their hand of our attendee list. Nope, not see anybody raising their hand.
All right. Is anyone like to be heard? All right. We will now close public comment period. James, just move on.
Yes, sir. Item number 4 on the agenda. This is new business. This item
James, let me come in here first. Let me tell all the commissioners, I'm ashamed of this telephone. I can't use this damn thing like I'm supposed to. So I hope you all understand. I love to look at people, and I can't do it. I'm sitting here at my dining room table in the dark. So I apologize, y'all, about use of this phone, but it's the best I can do. Now, James, go ahead.
You're doing fine, Mayor. This is Christine. You're doing good.
Okay, well, I'm too old, Christine. Go ahead. Y'all go ahead. Go ahead, James.
I'll get back together.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Yes, sir. New business. This is procurement of materials for the town common. In this case, it had been described previously that we have a contractor under contract for the town common project. And indeed, we had our pre-construction meeting with them today. So not are they under contract, they provided their bonds. We've issued a notice to proceed and we're on our way. But of course, as part of this, the town was expected to supply some of the materials. They call that owner furnish, contractor install. The reason we have some materials that the town will supply is because they need to match our existing materials. For example, having light poles and fixtures that match our existing ones, the decorative nature of them, the town procures those. And this is, of course, included in the budget. Again, we are still well under budget on this project. So in this case, we have both light poles as well as the bollard lights. There's a staff report from the town planner who took care of procuring these items in accordance with the North Carolina general statutes for procurement. And however, because the aggregate value of these items is over $30,000, it requires board authorization for the town manager to enter into a purchase order or contract for these items. She did get 3 quotes on each of the items, and they are shown in the staff report. So this would be an item for board action requiring a motion, a second, and a vote.
All right. Are you going to do that? Are you ready for that today, James, or wait till the next meeting so the commissioners can study it?
Yes, sir. We are ready for that vote today. These items have a long lead time, so I would encourage a vote. However, I certainly understand if the board's not prepared to, we understand that as well. It's for the board's consideration.
All right. Can we take the town manager's recommendations? What's the feeling of the board?
So how much is it?
Yes, for the record, the light poles, the low bidder came in at $41,618.62. And for the bollard lights, it was $28,053.90. And the aggregate value, of course, exceeds the $30,000 threshold.
Where were each of the bidders? What location are they from?
Yes, sir, Commissioner. We have the town planner who has information available on the topic and will be approaching the microphone.
Commissioner Mann, these the low bidder on both the lights and the bollards is Bright Ideas. It's owned by a gentleman named Tony Gomez, who's from, I think he lives in Southern Shores. Lighting Dimension Associates is in Norfolk, and then Outer Banks Electric was the highest bidder in both instances, and they, of course, are here in Manatee.
Someone with the lowest bidder.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Selby, we're going with the lowest bidder in this, for these procurements. Thank you.
James, I have a question. I think I know it, but I wanted to ask you. These lighting that you're going to put in is going to be standard to what we already have. They're going to all look alike, I guess, aren't they?
Yes, and the town planner will address that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should address it to Melissa. These lights will be like they're down by the boathouse and across that apartment building, won't it?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, they will match.
Yeah, that's just. I was thinking about just making everything match, look consistent.
Yes, sir. They're the same lights.
This is Richie. Does that low bidder have a license?
I'll address
Right.
that. Yes, Commissioner Burke. In this particular case, all we're doing is providing materials. They will be installed by the general contractor or its subcontractor in this case. RPC, we had a pre-construction meeting with them today, and they will have a licensed contractor install those fixtures that we're providing. So we're providing materials, these light fixtures. The contractor is responsible for installation, and that was actually included in our town common contract. That's part of their bid.
So he does not have a license, correct? And it's not needed at this point.
You're correct on both counts. So I do not know if Bright Ideas has a license or not, but it is a moot point because our contractor is supposed to install these. All we're doing is providing its materials only. He's not installing those electric lights and fixtures and all that stuff.
And did I hear Melissa right that he's in Southern Shores, I think it was, that low bidder, instead of Manteo? Is that correct?
That is correct, Commissioner Burke. And the town has worked with him previously as well.
Okay. All right.
Any other comments from the board? Can we have a motion?
This is Christine. I'm assuming by looking at the bids that they're all fairly close, and so I would like to make a motion that we authorize the town manager to execute a contract or purchase order for the town provided items as described on the town common plans and any amendments within our budget.
All right, you've heard the motion. Is there a second to Christine's motion?
Second.
Who is that, Jason?
Borland.
Who?
Borland.
Oh, boy, okay. I can't, like I said, I can't see. I don't. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, we'll take a vote, James. All in favor?
Yes, sir. I'll go down, of course, the roll call here. Selby, aye or nay? Commissioner Mann, aye or nay?
Aye.
Commissioner Borland, aye or nay?
Aye.
Commissioner Burke, aye or nay?
Aye.
And Commissioner Walker, aye or nay?
Aye.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a unanimous vote for the procurement of these materials.
Okay, the motion carries. Now the ball's on your court, James.
Yes, sir. We'll order it expeditiously, sir.
All right. Mayor comments. I've already made mine. Let's start out with Jason.
You say Jason?
Yeah, Jason.
No, just again, James, with the holiday stuff, and it sounds like we'll talk about it more next time. And I had mentioned this before, but I think, we did vote to together a special events committee. You and your staff have done an excellent job with the planning. We talked about a lot of different things, and I feel like you're going to need help with the execution. So hopefully we can start to move forward at the next meeting. I would say I don't see why we wouldn't be able to start adding members to that team. That's it.
Okay, Eddie?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank, I heard from Tim Sweeney, the Dean of COA earlier, who was committed to making the COA in Manteo look and feel like it belongs in the town of Manteo, and I just appreciate their commitment to to making sure that the school looks like that. I'm excited for the progress that's happening with the school and with the town commons, and there's a lot of progress physically going on in the town of Manteo right now. Thank you.
All right, Chris, I'm sorry. Who's this? Did somebody break it? Christine?
Yes, sir. Along those same lines as Eddie, I know the county commissioners have also brought up, the affordable housing, which goes hand in hand in my book with the COA project. And so whatever, we can do to help with that, I am all in favor of. We've got to get a handle on that situation whereby students, are able to come and live here and attend the college, because it's going to be such a great facility. That's the only thing that I can see that is going to cause a problem. So, whatever we can do, and I appreciate James keeping us in the loop with, what they've discussed, the county commissioners did. So thank you for that, James. And just let us know, locally within the town, what we can do. Again, with, I know Malcolm has brought, proposal to us. So whatever we can do to, help on that front.
Excellent suggestions. Excellent. Totally agree. Signed ones. Okay, Betty? Betty?
No, thank you.
You don't have any?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Richie?
I'm good, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, that includes everybody then. We've had a pretty good meeting, a short, fast meeting. Anybody have anything else to bring before the board? All right, Mr. Mayor, when do we meet again? We adjourn in, when is the date?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. When you adjourn today, your next meeting would be at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 4th.
Okay, can we have a motion to adjourn?
This is Eddie. I make a motion November 4th at 6:30.
Till November the 4th. Is there a second? Okay. The motion and second, we adjourn till November the 4th. All in favor, take a poll, James.
Yes, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Selby, aye or nay?
Aye.
Commissioner Mann, aye or nay?
Aye.
Commissioner Borland, aye or nay?
Aye.
Commissioner Burke, aye or nay?
Aye.
And Commissioner Walker, aye or nay?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, you have a unanimous vote.
All right, we have a unanimous vote. We'll declare ourselves adjourned until November the 4th. See you all then.
Bye. Bye.